talk about extracurriculars now. So my first question would be, when did you realize that normal high school activities weren't going to cut it for somewhere like Harvard?
Yeah, so I think that's a really good question because often the echo chamber of your school can be small, it can be limited, it can be restricting. And oftentimes your community outside of your school has a lot of potential for change than your school, right? At school, you're kind of constrained to extracurriculars and adult mentor and school policies. And unless you're very into like education politics, I think looking to do things in your community, whether it's volunteering or, helping out or doing any sort of work that puts your passions into action and improves your community, I think is fantastic. And I think it does show that you're willing to do what is necessary to help your community. You're not restricted by limits. You're willing to think outside of the box. And I think that I did my activities outside of the classroom because I really liked them. And I think that definitely showed in my application and pulled me through.
Okay, perfect. Could you walk us through one or two of your activities that you think impressed Harvard admissions officers the most?
Yeah, so I'll take you through two of them. So first of all, I did journalistic research at the U.S. Mexico border through a grant,
Mm-hmm.
and then with that, I produced photo journals, videos, published articles, and incorporated a lot of classroom materials into my school. Actually, because of this, it was about a year of work doing different things and doing a lot of work. But I really do think what pulled me across the line is not only was this a unique solution and an actual solution to a real problem, not a formulated solution to a formulated problem. I think it was my passion. I think I was truly passionate about it, and I think the care I had for it and my reasons for doing it as an immigrant, as someone who cares about writing, who cares about human rights, I think that would definitely made an impact. Another extracurricular I think that was impressive was I was the editor in chief of my school's high school paper. And I think a lot of kids applying to these schools are their editor in chief or the president of their literary magazines or newspapers. But I think what made my take on that club unique is that I organized competitions between different schools. So we did a multi-school competition, writing competition to promote more writing in schools and promote creative writing in a generation that I think doesn't value writing enough. And then we also had multiple publications and we had events and we had opportunities for people to read their submissions at arts fests. So I think that was impressive, not only because I put a lot of work into it and I really loved the writing, but also because I think I took it, that step above that, that cliche above and beyond.
Okay, perfect. So my follow-up question would be, if someone is looking to build like real impact, what advice would you give to them? Because I feel like the uh, activities that are actually worth putting on your resume would be some kind of impactful activities.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. I think that the most impressive things are the things that had real impact because it showed that you cared and that you actually did something. You didn't just formulate a problem and formulate a fake solution. So I think that the advice I would give people is just to take action and take action at a real problem. The first piece of advice is don't think that you have to found something to make change. I think in a lot of areas there is already organizations addressing important needs. And although you might start at a small organization in your area as a volunteer, you can step up to higher leadership positions that I think can be equally as impressive. And you can also frame your volunteer work as impressive by showing the amount of people you impacted, the work you did, and other more specific details that show impact. Because often, if you start creating things, or if you try to create a nonprofit just to create a nonprofit, or if you try to find a problem and you just make up a problem, you're not actually making impact because there's nothing to impact. So that would be my first piece of advice. And the second piece of advice is just to take action. To get impact, you need to take action. And I think a lot of students worry about if their things will be effective, or if they're doing is enough, or if they're doing it the right way, when the only way you will accomplish something is by making a mistake, by stepping on that first hurdle. And the way to get somewhere is just to start taking action. So even if it's making an email or helping someone or making the website for your idea, any action that pushes you towards your goal is really important, even if it's infinitesimally small.